A family friend found out her fiance was cheating on her with her maid of honor before her wedding. She went through with her expensive friggin' wedding that he paid for, taped pics of them cheating under the chairs and exposed them during her speech, walked out and went on the honeymoon by herself. Boom, like drop the mic. You got the ultimate revenge. Kudos to you for like following through with all that after finding out that information. I don't know if I could keep my cool for that long and pretend I didn't know until the wedding day and then like expose it in that manner. Wow, y'all, I think we should just round of applause this one. This is pretty impressive. The story goes that he had started acting a little distant about 3 weeks before the wedding. The bride wrote this off because he had already moved down for his new job, and this was the first time they had been apart from each other in those 8 years, and she just invaded the new private life by moving in before the wedding. Wedding time, everyone's happy, the ceremony's beautiful, their vows are good, especially his. He choked up a few times, very cute. All right, the reception is fun. Last night though, this person gets a call from my girlfriend saying the bride is in shambles as the groom had just told her that he no longer loves her. He spouts out every cliche in the book. It's not you, it's me. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Today, the bride decides to check on the phone bill, and lo and behold, there are a bunch of texts and calls to the same number. When she checks his phone, all of the texts were evidence of an affair, including many texts exposing his love for new girl. Cool. Thanks so much for marrying me, even though you had someone on the side, and obviously you're not that in love with me to a point to marry me if you have a side piece. Like, you're just doing damage to yourself at that point. If you know you don't want this person as your forever and as your wife, why even get married, my dude? This is like the opposite of the question, but my dad was the pastor of a wedding where the groom was found hooking up with a bridesmaid's during the reception, who was also his first cousin. The whole thing erupted into this big ordeal and the bride left, but they did not annul the marriage. She eventually had a mental breakdown several years later and was institutionalized after getting picked up off the street completely naked, claiming she was Jesus. Okay, you know what? There's a lot going on in this story. Why do I feel like I've heard this before? Because it's so crazy. Like, we can, focus on the fact that he was hooking up with a bridesmaid, but how do I get over the fact that it was a cousin? I don't think that's anything I'm really gonna get over. This is a lot. There's a lot happening. I really don't know which part to address. What's up, everyone? Thanks for hanging out. I'm Sassy, and today we are checking out some grooms who got caught cheating on their wedding day. That would suck. Like, that would suck so bad. Two of my friends that got married, the groom cheated on his bride quite often, including the night before the wedding. An anonymous text was sent out and spilled the beans to the bride. A fight ensued, but the wedding continued as planned. Also, the girl that did the bride's makeup for the wedding, well, she was that girl who had been sleeping with the groom. I'd never witnessed more awkward, but did she know that? Did the bride know that the girl doing her makeup was the one sleeping with her husband? You can't even tell me you're gonna have some girl who just slept with your to-be husband the night before doing your makeup for the man you're about to marry, knowing that he just slept with her and she just slept with him. Come on now. Come on. I don't even feel bad at this point for the bride. If you stay and you follow the come on now, I only feel sympathy to a certain extent to that point, because you are letting all that happen. That's crazy. My ex-husband cheated on me at his bachelor party the night before our moderately expensive wedding. I didn't know it at the time, but he called me after, completely drunk on tequila, saying he wasn't sure he wanted to get married, realized he wanted to have more fun and freedom. Of course, I was pissed as I laid in bed with my best friend that night. All my girlfriends, they stayed in her house. She admitted that he had hit on her a couple of years earlier. I thought of calling off the wedding, but was worried about the money spent being judged, embarrassing my family. Come on. The next morning, he called begging for my forgiveness, saying he wanted nothing more in life than to marry me, so we went forward. Oh girl. He showed up at our wedding with a hickey, but several people worked to cover it up. I discovered it at the end of our reception. But we were married, I was exhausted, and didn't want to make a scene. Y'all, I have a very hard time. I've been cheated on. I have a very hard time with people who stay with people who have cheated, because at the end of the day, people will only treat you how you let them treat you. That's all I'm gonna say. I think you deserved way more than that. I don't even know you, but like, come on now. I'm always a +1 for my best friend for weddings. He asked me to go with him to one last year, so I did. At the reception, a couple that was seated at our table were not being very social and kept looking down at their phones. My best friend brought up the subject at the bachelor party. The couple looked at him terrified and said, "What do you know?" Oh, they brought up the subject of the bachelor party. After asking them what was going on and why they would react like that, it turned out the groom and his brother took a exotic dancer, we'll say, back to their hotel room and took turns with her. Somehow she got both of their phone numbers, and the couple that was seated with us were not actually texting on their phones, but on the phones of the groom and his brother, trying to get this girl to leave them alone. Wow, they are still married. Oh, this is some tea though. That's crazy. So the people on their phones were actually doing the dirty work on the wedding day, trying to get this woman to leave them alone. And they were like, we're at the wedding, he's getting married. That's really sad. And you know, this is why people fear that their spouse is going to have a bachelor party. An ex-boyfriend of mine was the best man of his brother's wedding. The night of the bachelor party, he was MIA, and the entire next day as well. What did I say about bachelor parties? 2 weeks later, I ran into a friend of his who spilled the beans that not only had my boyfriend at the time boned an exotic dancer, but his brother, the groom, did as well. Yo, is this the people we just heard about? No idea if they're, okay, bro. No idea if they're still married. We broke up when I found out that, okay, tell me that this story is not what we just read. So maybe that does that make sense? Wow, this is just too much, y'all. I feel like that just tied in. Like she was the girlfriend of one of the brothers that hooked up with the dancer. That was some like 360 stuff just happening. My husband's really good friend had, okay, what can I even say? Instead, my husband's really good friend had hooked up with 3 people at one time at his bachelor party with these 2 nasty people I knew in high school. Then the night before his wedding, he hooked up with his wife's cousin in the room next to her. While my husband and our friend were waiting up at the altar for her to come out, my husband whispers in the groom's ear, "It's not too late, dude," to which he responds, "Divorce isn't that bad." Oh God. They were married for 3 years or so. He never stopped cheating, and she was turned into the typical, "My wife is psycho, she's always checking up on me, blah, blah, blah." That's really nice. Y'all, I know that you think I'm just like hating on men right now. I have also covered brides. We have covered people in general caught cheating. I know that brides cheat too on their wedding days. I have exposed some videos and stuff in other videos. So this is not a hate men video, okay? That's a lot of cheating. That's like serial cheating. Like you might as well be single. Didn't technically leave him at the altar, but 10 days before the wedding, I found out he was sleeping with someone else. Took me 2 days to decide not to get married. Then over the next 3 weeks, I discovered he had a sexual addiction and had been seeing other people for the entire 9 years we were together. Got real close to being stuck in that nightmare. Thankful every day that I didn't go through with it. Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. Kudos for freaking you. You saw what was happening, you knew your worth, and you said, "No, sir, you are not calling me your wife for the rest of our lives." Like that's good for you. You got out of that. That can be someone else's issue. I got left at the altar. He had spent the previous day spending a lot of time with his ex. Oh, nice. Instead of helping me set up. I yelled at him about it because he was late and hadn't helped at all. He said he didn't want to get married because spending time with his ex made him realize I wasn't as fun, and she was, because I was uncomfortable with him doing substances. Illegal substances. Kicked him out and still had the party. I told him to use that time to go home and pack up all his stuff. He did. Then he got into illegal substances. Okay, well, that is very sad, number 1. But number 2, you kind of dodged a bullet. I feel like it was a blessing in disguise for you. All right, guys, I'm doing today's Sassy shout out, and it is going to Janet Drong. She said, "I paid $200 for my first car at 17 and was damned proud of it, even though it was a piece of crap. Kids need to appreciate things in life." Hi, Sassy. Hi, Janet. I love this. I can totally relate to this. First of all, $200 for a car. Can't even imagine in today's day. But I had a car that was $1,000 and it was like a 1990 Ford something, and it was gold. And it had like the seats on the inside were like patterned, like guys. And I had to drive that to university. It got me from point A to point B, you know? You gotta do what you gotta do. So I get it, I feel ya. I'm getting out of here though, you guys. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to keep hanging out with me, and stay safe out there. Stay classy, stay loyal, maybe, and stay sassy. Bye. 2, okay. Why is this so long? These are way too long. Okay, we're gonna have to do some skimming here, or trimming, because there's no way I can read all these. No one wants to sit here and listen to me read this. And we're checking out some grooms who got cheated. Some grooms who what? Like, what am I saying? I'm not gonna be able to do all these. These are too long, but we'll get through as many as we can. No. Hold on. I'm yawned. My nails are gone. Sad times. They'll be back Wednesday. And we can do one more. No, we can't. We're not gonna do one more. Have you even subscribed to the channel yet? Don't be a fake fan. Hit that subscribe button. You know you want to.